If I could describe the Get My Life tour in one word, it would be vulnerability. Showing up for yourself is so important. Welcome to the Get My Life tour. I'm your host, Lydia T. Blanco. Hey y'all, and welcome to the Get My Life tour. It is me, your host, Lydia T. Blanco, and as always, I am so excited that you are here. If this is your first time, welcome to the Get My Life tour. This is all about showing up for yourself, vulnerability, or practicing vulnerability, better yet, and taking center stage in your life. Welcome to Center Stage. If this is your, 101st time tuning in to the Get My Life tour, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here rocking with me. You a real one, okay? Y'all, I am over the moon. On the last stop of the In My Life tour, I celebrated 100 episodes, a hundo. I was so hyped, so grateful, and really taking in all of the moments that I've had here center stage with some incredible people. And so I am here to announce, there's not really a big announcement, y'all, but this is going to be the recap episode of season 3. I was sitting down doing some calculating, and I was like, wow, there have been 34 episodes in the 3rd season of the Get My Life tour. And that to me is so special. And so I think it's officially time to wrap up this 3rd season. So here is a recap, okay? I can't believe that in January, which is almost a year ago, when you think about it, right? We're in this last quarter. I began season 3 and I was like, okay, you know what? It's time to use all of this space when you take center stage. And I'm proud to say that I have been doing that. I have been practicing taking up more room in this season of my life and on this season of the Get My Life tour. You know, we all, no, let me speak for myself. Let me not, we all, y'all, okay? 2021 was anticipated to be, a year of breakthrough and a year of coming out, right, of 2020. And it feels like it is legit 2021, like we just started all over again. And I've learned a lot. But on that stop of the tour, I really talked about the importance of showing up, right? How you show up this time around matters. And so that was an incredible stop on the tour. I had some incredible guests this season, including Miss Diddy, who was a big sister and just an incredible woman, right? Internationally known for carrying weight within the entertainment world and the CEO of the brand group LA. She is incredible. She is a strategist. She has so many different talents and skill sets and gifts and abilities, but she's most passionate about giving back to others and pouring into the city of Compton and just those around her. And so she took center stage to talk about why impact is more important than influence in every area of her life. Diddy killed that stop on the tour, okay? And so she is incredible. Some of the things that she shared was to be on time, be honest with people as you work with them and work hard, be transparent, do good business, and don't overpromise. Those are some of her business tips that she lives by. And I remember meeting her for the first time after connecting with her over the phone. And it was a transformative experience. And so to have her here on the Get My Life tour meant so much. She was the first guest of season 3. That stop was incredible. The amount of feedback that I received was just so refreshing, and people really appreciated it. I still appreciate it, and I'm so appreciative of Miss Diddy. So thank you, girl. Okay. And so the season continued. Okay. I talked about ease and increase, the dangers of treating people like fans. Y'all got to go back and listen to that one. Okay. And I just had to take center stage to talk about that, right? Because yes, while this is a tour, we are getting our lives. We also have to be mindful of how we get in it, right? And that includes how you treat people. And so I felt like it was time to talk about that center stage because there is so much happening in the world. And I think connectedness is something that people appreciate in a very, I don't want to say simple, but what is my word, y'all? I don't feel like there's much integrity when people talk about being connected to one another, right? Most times it's about what they can get. And so one of the things that I really brought center stage on that stop of the tour was the importance of being kind to people, okay? And not treating people like they are disposable. I've experienced it. And, you know, I value making everyone, well, those who need it most, right, feel special. But I also want people to walk away from me and not feel like I've treated them like I'm grandiose or something. And so I really had to talk about that because I've seen it a lot, right? And I know we've been inside for what feels like nearly 2 years, and there isn't as much engagement, but you still see it, right? And so you can't treat people like fans, okay? Everybody want to be a celebrity. Everybody want to have clout and this, that, and the third. And it's like, come on now. And so to continue, I had an incredible brother, okay? Here on the Get My Life tour, Cyrus McQueen. He is a cultural critic, a comedian, an author. He is about to be a dad. Congratulations, Cyrus. And he shared his journey of realizing that some ish ain't funny, right? And waking up to his blessings, living, you know, as a comedian, but also in this never ending moment of awakening. And so that was an incredible stop on a tour, right? What happens when Black men stop asking for permission? So we really, you know, delved into Black manhood, politics, and Black privilege. That stop on the tour, I got my entire life. You know, I love learning from men. I love learning from Black men, especially because oftentimes there isn't a platform, right? And so I hold moments like that sacred when men are vulnerable and sharing their lived experience and what they've learned to be true for themselves and what they've learned in relationship with others. And so I remember Cyrus speaking about his grandmother. And this man, when he speaks, it's like he's reading poetry, okay? He is such an intellect. He is such a deep thinker and someone who is well read and well experienced. And that was such a powerful stop on a tour. Cyrus, I appreciate you. Okay. Look, now this next stop on the tour, I remember like it was yesterday recording it. It's titled You're Already Winning. And it was a line. It's something that I took as an affirmation from a gentleman who I was watching on YouTube being interviewed. And he has a unique background. Well, I guess it ain't that unique. It's just a very different lifestyle than I would that I agree with, right? But he hit me with that online and I was like, yo, you're already winning. And so I've adopted that as a mentality, as an affirmation. And so, you know, just in case no one has told you today, you're already winning. And so that's what that stop of the tour was about. And so I took center stage to share ways that we can all take inventory and celebrate the small wins. Why? Because these small wins matter. And I don't think we celebrate them enough. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I did that and and I just checked off my list. And yeah, I've been working kind of hard on that and I actually did it and right? Don't just achieve, appreciate the process. You're already winning, okay? Man, stop 73. How to create a life worth living, with my sister friend, Paulina Reed, an incredible writer, a journalist. She has her own business. She's a celebrity ghostwriter. She's incredible. But I am so grateful for her, just her, okay? Beyond what she does. I am so grateful for her and her life. And I'm so appreciative of how she took center stage to talk about, balancing the ebbs and flows of business and living with depression and fighting every day to overcome it. It was such a powerful stop on the tour, and being able to live is something that oftentimes we take for granted, right? Until there's a fight associated with it. Some people are, super enthusiastic and intentional, and that's just not the case, right? For everyone. And so when Pollyanna took center stage and she talked about that, when she spoke about her journey and what it's like to have to make a daily decision, right? To choose, to fight, to be happy, to engage, to do business, to run her team and her business and crunch numbers, all these things. I was so grateful because we don't oftentimes get the behind the scenes, right? Those intimate moments with people who are really thriving, right? We see the thriving, but we don't often hear about the thriving, right? Getting from point A to point B with very little, gas in your tank, and that gas being like, the capacity to really show up because of what is going on inside of you. And so that was a stop on the tour. That was one for the books. And so I'm so happy that I was able to have that conversation publicly with Pollyanna. I appreciate you, girl. Oh, the next stop on the tour. Here and now, all we have is the present. Ooh, I really was wondering what that stop was going to look like or sound like, better yet. But I talked about ways to practice being present as a form of self-love. It was so important for me to have that conversation here. I'm still on my self-love journey, and I'm very intentional about putting myself first in that way and getting to know myself in ways that I hadn't been able to get to know myself before, and do that by being present. There's an affirmation I really love from Tony James: the present is a woman. The affirmation is everything. I'd encourage you to check it out. But there's so much that we receive when we are being present. And I believe that's one of the ways that we can practice self-love, right? Just sitting here. I'm like, okay, I did what I said I was going to do. Let me do that because I love me and I love my life. And I'm so grateful for this moment. And so I'd encourage you to take, a listen to that stop on the tour. Now, this next stop with Nori Pansel, I appreciate and love my Garifuna sister, okay? You owe it to yourself to experience transformation. That stop, okay, we talked about abundance. We talked about her coaching program, her 10-year health challenge that she's experienced, okay? Her healing journey and how she's claimed so many victories and how she's helping others do that. That stop. Just go listen to it, okay? You know, being willing to experience transformation is different than wanting to experience transformation. And so that was something that I further learned in conversation with her. And that's something that has been really top of mind for me lately. And so having that conversation with her, I was just like, oh, it was so timely, y'all. It was so timely. The point that really is popping up for me right now is our point of discussion on how we respond to discomfort. That I was like, are we complaining? Ooh, are we still grateful? Are we gonna keep it moving? We're gonna get through this, right? And so, with this being a how through lifestyle podcast, I was like, yo, if this wasn't it, like what? So go check that episode out. It was incredible. All right. And so the next stop on the tour is a celebration every time you show up. I was really thinking about the line from Moment in Life with Drake and Nicki, but it's a celebration every time we link up. That's what I was going with. I don't know if you got that, that little hint, but I really feel like that. I feel so overjoyed each and every time I'm in my dashboard, I'm in my inbox, I'm having an exchange with someone and they're sharing their gratitude for the community we've been able to create here. And so not only did I express my gratitude for you all on that stop of the tour, I talked about why we should celebrate not only every win, but acknowledge everyone who shows up for us. Sometimes we forget about the quote unquote little people, right? And there are no little people in my life. Let me just be very clear about that. But one of the things that I've learned, and at times has been a painful learning experience, is that people have to know that they are appreciated. I know I use that word a lot, but I don't know if there's a real way to. There's nothing redundant about appreciation. So that's why I don't mind using the word frequently. And when people don't know that you appreciate them, that's one of the worst feelings, like mutually, like that. And so I really wanted to talk about that. And I'm so glad that I did, because like I said, I feel like I can't say it anymore. I said what I said. You got to let people know that you see them, that you feel them, that you're grateful for them. Okay? Whew. Episode 77, y'all, was so divine. Ty Young, celebrity makeup artist and beauty founder, took center stage to share how she's been able to live out her dreams in Hollywood with no backup plan. And God is her agent. You know, we talked about how she's been able to thrive in her career. And when she hit me with God is my agent, when we were having a conversation about what this stop on the tour was going to be, I was like, that's it. And it was so profound when she said it, because sometimes we have so many backup plans, right? And a lot of us claim to have this great faith, but we're not as eager or excited to just do what we've been called to do. And so I remember our conversation very vividly, and there were so many moments that were happening for Ty. And one moment was leading her to the next. And she believed all the while. And that really spoke to me, because sometimes we don't see the connection points in our own lives, right? And because we don't pay attention to those connection points or what the Most High is doing, we begin to create backup plans. And sometimes things just don't work out for us, right? But having that faith, believing wildly for what it is that you've been called to or to do, is so important. And so that was such a good stop on the tour. Ty is incredible. She shared a bit about her 5 steps to flawless makeup routine. I now own those brushes. I'm a proud owner. Y'all know I love Black beauty. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm a fake beauty influencer in my head. And so, well, I'm a real one in my head. I guess I'm a fake one. I don't know. So I keep on saying take a look. Listen to that stop on the tour and let me know your thoughts. Okay. And so, this one was a good one. Self-worth and wardrobe. Does yours match? Morgan Wider. I love her. So Morgan is someone who I met, maybe 3-4 years ago. And I saw her at the International Day of Purpose, created and hosted by Jovi and Zane, an incredible soror of mine. And Morgan was there giving a workshop on the business of looking good. And I remember sitting in that workshop knowing that I had to write about that session. And so I interviewed her. It was great. I learned so much about myself, my body size and shape, and the importance of having one staple, real leather piece in my collection, and quality over quantity as it relates to wardrobe. But I knew I needed to have another conversation with her. And so I was so glad that we did, because she took center stage to speak about why presentation matters and how you can use your style to communicate your worth as you show up. When I tell you, you need to learn the difference between your body shape and size, learn to love yourself even more and communicate through your style. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. That stop on the tour, everything. And so Morgan is a style expert. Her information, everyone who has been a guest on the Get My Life Tour, maybe I should say this, their information is on the getmylifetour.com. If you listen on Anchor, you can see the show notes there, as well as on the various platforms, Apple, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. I am diligent about linking back to the guest's website or their social media so that you can stay connected with them. So for any episode, you can connect with the individuals. I'm sure they would love to know that you heard them take center stage and that you are now eager to connect with them. So that's my little mid-episode ad. You gotta connect with these people. They are like, reach out to me. And they mean it. So do so. All right. And so moving on, I'm just going to kind of like breeze through this, right? I spoke about honoring the invitation. That was a really personal episode to me, right? And I, felt the need to talk about it because I felt, what do I want to say? I had an invitation extended to me and it was retracted. And so it wasn't the first time that had happened to me, right? It was nothing personal. But this time around, I was like, oh, this just hit a little different, right? And so I was like, you know what? Let me think about this. And so while it was personal, I didn't necessarily take it personally, right? And so I thought of ways to help myself reevaluate how we show up for others and ourselves based on the invitations that we receive. So that was an incredible stop on the tour. I also spoke about some incredible business tips and career advice with Brittany Oliver. She is incredible. And so Brittany Oliver is the founder of Lemons to Lemonade. And she'd applied for over 100 jobs and was able to land a position. And so she created Lemons to Lemonade as an event series, a blog, and a brand, honestly, where she helps other women make introductions to different industry leaders and bring them together, have these real conversations about their career journeys. And so Brittany is so dope. She was so transparent. And we talked about our journeys as Black women in the media industry who are now like media and tech. And so, Brittany, I appreciate you. You are dope. And I'm so glad that you're on your journey. All right, come on now. Ask and receive. I took center stage to talk about the power of manifestation. And so I know a lot of people talking about manifesting. I'm grateful that they are because I'm learning a lot, right? But I also took the time to talk about the importance of being mature enough to receive what it is that you ask for. I always say that we have to be spiritually mature to receive what it is that we're asking for. Sometimes we'll get the ball and we'll fumble it if we're not. And so that stop on the tour, I would encourage you to tune in, of course. Now, episode 82, near and dear to my heart, Sarah Jakes Roberts took center stage with me, and I am forever grateful. We talked about the benefits of evolving and becoming the person you need. That was a very transformative conversation for me. At the time, I was reading her book, and I knew in that moment that it was time for me to really begin to address Lil Lydia. I talk about Little Lydia a lot, but at that point, I hadn't been working with Lil Lydia on my healing and growth process with a professional, okay? Meaning I did not have a therapist at the time. And so reading, Woman Evolve and learning more about childhood wounds and the inner child, I was like, oh my gosh. And so being able to have that intimate conversation with Sarah Jakes Roberts was remarkable, right? She shared how studying the life of Eve helped her become, I can't even speak English, excuse me, y'all. It helped her to become who she once needed. And so we see memes that say that be who you needed and this, that, and the third, but no one really talks about what that process looks like, right? And so with me doing a lot of that work now, with Sarah Jakes Roberts doing that work, she is on this mission to help women revolutionize their lives and live courageously. And so that was the conversation we had. She spoke life over me, which I am just forever grateful for. And I'm still in awe that she said yes to being on the Give My Life tour. You've probably heard me here. You've probably heard me talk, about how that transpired. And so check out that stop on the tour. All right. So in the season, I've also talked about it being time to choose yourself. And so I still believe it's time. If you haven't yet, choose you. I've had incredible conversations with couplepreneurs, the founders of Verifem, Dominique and Dr. Kenneth Lanier. They came and took center stage to talk about how they formulated a recipe to help women experience ease during that time of the month. Very informative conversation about menstrual cycles, pain relief, natural remedies, and their relationship and what they've learned doing business together and being in love while being in love. Okay, such a great episode. Now this one right here, 85, you don't always have to be the plug. Baby, unplug me, okay? Take me out the socket. Sometimes I get tired of being connected. And it's not to other people, right? But just being the source that people come to because they perceive me as well connected, this, that, or the third. And while that can be true, what I've learned is that you don't always have to be the plug, okay? Because it's depleting. And so if you are experiencing that kind of burnout, I'd encourage you to go check out that stop of the tour. I also spoke with the incredible Robert Brace, who is a former ballet dancer. He is a minister, a father, a fitness trainer, a husband, an incredible Black man, okay? And so the title of that episode was Releasing the Weight of Who You Think You Are. Robert Brace is incredible. He has lived many lives, and the culmination of his experience has really equipped him to help others experience total body transformations in his work through his work as a fitness trainer. Go check out that stop on the tour. And so you have permission to rewrite your story. Shamir Williams, author, consultant, lifestyle blogger. That was such a powerful stop on the tour as well. We had this similarity of being childhood writers who were into poetry and all these things. And she really was so brave in taking center stage, speaking about having a hysterectomy early in life, being a teen mother, and really finding her footing in her industry and making it as an entrepreneur. I am so grateful for that conversation, and I hope that you appreciate it too. So listen to it if you haven't. So many of these stops on the tour, I'm just like, wow, I couldn't believe it that I get to have these conversations, but I'm I'm just so happy that I do get to have these conversations, okay? I've also shared affirmations that help me power through season after season. And so that was incredible. My conversation with Raynell Jones about everything is not about you. When you are aligned, right? Ooh. Raynell is a force to be reckoned with. She is an entrepreneur, mommy influencer, the executive director of the Alignment chapter. And she spoke about her journey once as a single mother, right? And her work helping single moms. She's been recognized by some of, the top business people, I'll say it that way, and publications for her work. And so that was one of the most raw conversations I had with her. And I'm like, yo, Raynell is dope. I appreciate you, girl. And so I took center stage to talk about creating the life you want to live. And you've probably heard me say it here before. And I talked about the mission statement of my home church here in Harlem, 1 Corinthians. And our mission is create the life you want to live. And so I talked about that because sometimes we just living, or we're existing, better yet, and we're not being intentional. And so that's what I really focused on that stop of the tour. Now, this one right here, this next stop with Tamicia was so good. Mishi is so dope. She's an author, Hey Carter Books. She is an entrepreneur, and she is someone who will let you know that your worth is non-negotiable. I also wrote about her in Forbes, my Forbes column, and that interview was great. This interview was even better by my standards. So I'm like, yeah, okay, it's one thing when you write about someone for someone else, but when you have a conversation with someone and they're just so open, it makes for a really rich experience. And so that's what that was, right? She shared about her lessons learned on her entrepreneurial journey as a self-published author, being a mother, a wife, and an advocate for literacy and representation. And so, like I said, it was a really rich conversation, and I'm just like, yo, Mishi, you're legit. Okay. And so, episode 94, you're undefeated. Drop the underdog mentality. For so long, I considered myself to be an underdog. Then I realized how problematic that was when it was showing up in spaces where that was unnecessary. And as I began to really remember who I was, and a lot of us don't realize that we consider ourselves to be the underdog, or maybe we do. And it's to our detriment. It's not to our benefit oftentimes. And so I implore you, reevaluate if you consider yourself an underdog, especially since you're already winning. Okay, so on the next stop of the tour, I spoke with Talia Boone, who is the creator, the founder and creator of Postal Petals, a subscription floral box that you can arrange. And the fact that she created this company during the pandemic is so incredible to me. And so we spoke about the importance of creating moments of joy and radical self-care, healing and building, businesses that bring joy. And I love flowers. I love arranging them. I know how therapeutic it can be for me. And so having that conversation with her being a multi-hyphenated entrepreneur and her sharing her learnings from the many phases of her journey was really phenomenal. Talia is incredible, and that conversation was so refreshing. Now, since the Get My Life tour is all about showing up for yourself, on the stop after that, I spoke about the importance of thanking yourself for showing up, okay? And that marked the 2-year anniversary. That stop marked the 2-year anniversary of the Get My Life tour. Relatively new, still in the second year. And I couldn't believe it, right? I said yes 2 years ago, and I'm so grateful that I did. I'm so grateful that you are here. And if you have been tuned in for the last 2 years, my heart is with you. Thank you. So episode 96, I spoke with Patricia Riley, and we talked about her journey as a fighter, as a survivor of breast cancer, and how your fight inspires others. And I knew that I had to talk to Patricia the moment I met her. And I told her, I was like, look, we're going to talk about this on my podcast. And I said this in front of a group of, I don't know how many people, while I was speaking at an event. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, absolutely, because people need to hear from you. So we did. And it was really special speaking with her about her journey. And I'm so grateful for how transparent she was about what that looked like as a Black woman navigating, the healthcare system and being on the other side of that data, right? That highlights how Black women are treated within the medical system. And so very eye-opening conversation about what a number of people experience. She talked about becoming a healing presence in her community and her passion to create more access and visibility for Black women in the healthcare system. Her faith is incredible. Her story, incredible. She is incredible. And so if you've tuned into that stop, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have yet to, go and find out for yourself, okay? Oh, so I honestly believe this stop on the tour was one of my favorites in this 3rd season. It's about creating home in your heart. This episode came to me after traveling back to New York from the Bay. Some of you know I'm bi-coastal, and I was really struggling. I was like, oh, this feels different, but it's mine, and I'm grateful. but what is going on? And, right. And so I spoke about the importance of really creating home and redesigning home in your heart. I've had a number of experiences here on the East Coast over the last 6 years that I am grateful for, be it good or perceived bad. It has really shaped me and it has taught me how to keep a home regardless of my desires, right? To be married and have more space, this, that, and the third, but to really appreciate what I have and be faithful with what I have. And so I believe in spring cleaning, fall cleaning, winter cleaning, every season, okay? And so I had to clean up physically, but also clean up and edit in my heart space and in my head space as I returned back to the East Coast. And so that was a very intimate conversation with me, for me, excuse me. And so I hope that you appreciate it if you tune in or you are able to take away something. So more recently, as the third season concludes, I spoke with Chantel Calloway, who is the founder of the hip hop literacy game Rhyme Antics. And it was my second time speaking with her interview style. And it was incredible being able to speak with her about the lessons that she learned 10 years being into her business, still, pulling herself up by her bootstraps and garnering support, and what that has been like getting her board game onto the shelves of companies or stores like Target and Walmart, and just things that she's learned about really taking care of herself. So great conversation with Chantel. Now, I had so much fun with this episode. They are officially the last guests for season 3. Khadijah and Kiana, the co-creators of Aqua Waterproof Headwear. I love these women. Like, I had such a great conversation with them the first time we got on the phone. I was like, okay, so this is what we're going to do, X, Y, and Z, and they've kept that same energy, and so have I. So I am so grateful for them. I am an owner of their products. I am a supporter of what they do. However I can support them, I try my very best to, and they are so supportive as well to Get My Life Tour. It's very seldom, which is unfortunate, that you meet people who are just so genuine, and they are. They are thriving in business. They are thriving in friendship, as wives, as just people who are dope and living in this world. So I'm so grateful for them, right? We talked about, how it is possible to be in business with your friends. And so they are college besties. They are business partners. They are the owners of Aqua Waterproof Headwear, which is a patented, right? Am I saying that right? You know what I mean. They've patented their product. And that stop on the tour, Sisterhood plus Business equals Success, is so invigorating, right? Just to have that kind of conversation with those women. So Khadijah and Kiana, y'all hold a special place in my heart. And then the last stop on the tour for season 3 was what being on the tour has really taught me so much, because that was the second to last episode. Given this recap, I will let you listen to that, and you can learn, or you can hear what I've learned, better yet, about being on tour. And so I'm full. 34 episodes in the third season. Who would have thunk it? Okay. And I'm really grateful. I'm really looking forward to what is to come in the next season as well. There's so much that I plan on doing with the Get My Life Tour. And I can't wait to share that with you all. I cannot wait, but I have a lot of planning, a lot of recording, some of which I've already begun because I am a planner. Okay. And so the only way is up. That's my mic drop moment. The only way is up. I believe that. I can't wait to see where this goes. I can't wait to experience season 4 with you. I will say that the next time you hear me on air will be in about a month or so. I'm giving myself some time to pace myself because I have been faithful. I have been a good steward of what has been gifted to me in the form of this podcast. But I want to make sure that like what I'm creating is being scaled and is growing. And so I look forward to taking center stage with you again very soon for the 4th season. Get ready. We going places, y'all. There are going to be different elements and just so much more increase. Okay. Look, as always, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being who you are. And thank you for trusting me with your time. And thank you for those who have taken center stage for trusting me with your stories. As always, you can stay connected with the Get My Life Tour by visiting the website, thegetmylifetour.com, or by being connected on social media at the Get My Life Tour. Feel free to email me in the meantime at joinme@thegetmylifetour.com. I noted that there was an issue with the submission form on thegetmylifetour.com that is now fixed. So please feel free to submit your pitches if you'd like to take center stage. If not, please do feel free to reach out to me at joinme@thegetmylifetour.com. As always, you can stay connected with me and follow my work journalistically or just me because you think I'm cool or whatever. And I'm starting to get cool too. At Lydia T. Blanco on all social platforms with the exception of Facebook. It is by Lydia T. Blanco. And I can't say it enough, but thank you. And I look forward to tapping in shortly, okay? And remember to be kind to yourself. Until the next time, I will see you right back here, center stage on the Get My Life Tour. It has been real. Peace.